Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name's Mamina. If you're new here, please do subscribe. Make sure you thumb up this video, comment below, tap the little bell to be notified whenever I post new readings. I actually posted a photo of this in a Facebook group and on my Instagram so that you guys would have had more time to, really resonate with the stones and see which ones suit you. The top row up here are messages from Divine Masculine. The bottom row down here are from the Divine Feminine. Now, these two groups don't necessarily go together. What that means is these feminines are not necessarily responding to the masculines and vice versa. However, if you were drawn to stones from both groups, you could be the feminine watching for the masculine or the masculine watching for the feminine, and you may resonate with them regardless, okay? This reading's very unique because as I was shuffling the cards out, I was seeing certain images and things. So I might mention certain looks, names, and phrases we'll see as it go along, should that channel back in. I've let the stones charge these cards for a few hours now. So we'll see what comes back in, what new things pop up as we go along. We're going to start off by jumping into group 1, which is the masculines, card 1. The chakras are third eye, throat, and crown. And for the feminines, it's root, heart, and sacral. All right, group 1, you chose to hear messages from the Divine Masculine. We're going to dive into the Divine Masculine centered around the third eye. This could be a chakra that they have to work on, you have to work on, or it could play a part in your connection and how it's coming together. We're going to start off with Divine Moon Empress's love language to get into how do they view this relationship. This could also be how they met you, what they're thinking about when you pop in their head. That's what this is centered around. And then we're going to dive into their deeper messages using Walu Child's reading love messages and how they feel about you. Let's jump right into the first card. We have Lazy Days. Okay, so these are Divine Masculines that if they're in separation, because I'm picking up on 3 types: separation, dating, and had to take a break. The ones in separation or had to take a break from you, when they think of you, they think of the lazy days you spent together. This could have been a trip that you guys took. Notice how they're looking out the window and they're just really relaxed and it's pillow talk. Okay, that's channeling. Pillow talk. I actually did a reading on pillow talk. This could be a Divine Masculine that came from that reading, because it's interesting that song channeled in like that. But this is the energy that they have when they think of you. They're very relaxed, pillow talk, can just chill. They don't have to worry about the worries of the day. This is somebody that probably thinks about you the most at night. This could be someone you just started dating again. Something may have gotten in the way of trying to connect before, like the corona, or something popped up where you guys it was bad timing, pretty much. And in that amount of time, whenever they would think of you, just this calm, like chilled feeling would come over them, like a lazy day. Like, I just want to spend all day with you in bed. This is also a new relationship. And out of that new relationship, whether you've been intimate yet or not, it's on their mind. But it's not like, okay, I just want to hit it, quit it, go. It's like, I want to just lay in bed and just get in pillow talk with this person. What's their dreams? What's their goals? What's mine? And that might have actually been something that kind of made them nervous. Like, okay, why am I about to confess my whole life? Why do I want to know this person's whole life? Didn't we just start dating or really seriously talking? They're questioning certain things. Somebody has a kid. Could be more than one person, but somebody has a kid with someone else. One of them may have a kid with you, but someone has a kid with someone else. They're not with that person anymore. But that being with the kid, like, playing or taking them to school, things like that take up their time. So in the day, they don't have to think about you as much. But when the nighttime hour comes, you're on their mind heavily. This could be someone, whether you're in separation or just dating, that drops a lot of hints to you about how they feel without actually having to come out and completely say it. It's one thing to date a person and say, oh, I'm really having fun, like I'm really enjoying your company. And it's different to just be honest and say, I'm feeling this really deep-rooted connection and I think about you in the midnight hour. They might think that's too much, too fast, okay? So they drop hints. If this is an ex or a person you took a break from on social media, they're dropping hints. They're saying little things. Maybe they'll share a photo like this. like, oh, with a caption talking about just wanting somebody they could just spend time laying around. You know that you guys used to do that. You know that was a thing, to sit and lay in bed and talk or watch Netflix or something. They're hinting that. It's like their way of trying to test the waters to see if you're open to them coming back, or open to trying again, or to maybe even pep themselves up. You could also be dropping them secret messages. I'm just getting the sense that they feel your presence very strongly. Let's get into their surface message, something that could be confessed on the surface. I'm being subliminal with you. So they drop a lot of hints in what they talk to you about. When you are having conversations, could be hints about what they like, hints about what they like about you, without having to say too much too fast. For others, it's that social media. Back in the day, we used to call it subtweeting. I don't know what they call it now, but we used to call it subtweeting back in the day. If it's Instagram, it's like sub-Instagramming or something. If you don't know what that is, that's when you leave a message for a person and it's like, okay, imagine you post, I just want to spend time indoors on a lazy day. And then all of a sudden here they come with a tweet like, I enjoy lazy days at home where I can just lay in bed with someone. But they didn't at you. They didn't comment directly to you. That's a subtweet. It's a subliminal message, okay? Take what resonates. Also, we have the third eye here, so I'm feeling like communication also happens in telepathic ways. You pick up their thoughts, they pick up your thoughts. And again, when it's evening or nighttime, whenever they're not working or busy and they have nothing to do, you pop in their head and the first thing they feel is like lazy days, just laying with this person in bed. I feel you surround me in my sleep. And that's how they feel. They feel you surround them in their sleep. So think about that. Lazy days, I'm being subliminal with you. Lazy days is obviously speaking to either something you've experienced together or something they want to experience, how they view this union. And then that moves into, I feel you surround me in my sleep. I'm feeling like this is also sexual. I mean, all of it can be sexual, but there's something about it that's feeling more sexual. So whether you are coming together, reconnecting, or just dating, you're on their mind. You give them this relaxed feeling. They feel like they can probably confess a lot, but they're a little weary of doing that. So instead, they leave subliminal messages. If you were wondering, like let's say you're dating and you're wondering if they're leaving you hints, you notice that there's something they say a lot or something they do a lot, and they just don't come out and say whatever it is, and you're like, dude, what's going on here? Yes, they leave you subliminal messages. Like, yeah, that's what's happening. But also, if you sometimes hear their thoughts or feel their presence, or you're laying in bed and you feel like they're in bed laying with you, cuddling, whatever that may be for you, yeah, they feel you at night and they respond with the same kind of emotion and vibration. Remember, when a person's open enough and receptive enough, if you think about them heavy, you can pop up in their dreams. And then of course there's also astral projection. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother video. We're going to keep this really simple. But group 1 for the masculines, I hope that gave you some clarity, some guidance. Take what resonates. Your actions are your own. Blessings to you. All right, pile 2s. We're heading into pile 2. Welcome to yours. You chose the throat chakra for the masculine messages from group 1. We're going to start off with the love language messages by Divine Moon Empress, and then get into the messages by Walu Child Readings, the love messages, and the how do they feel. This is the overall view of the relationship or the current situation. All right, this could be a memory, this could be something you guys just did together, or it could just be the definition of the relationship in their mind. Let's get right into it. Fancy restaurants. Ooh, wait a minute. Okay, this is interesting. Off the bat, some of you met in some type of social setting, a restaurant or out at an event, somewhere where people can like dine and eat. But there's something about this phrase that's like touchy for the masculine. This could be a masculine that's a little too social. They may not want to be, but perhaps they're in a lifestyle. They could be a host. They could own a restaurant. They could have family that owns some type of event company. They find themselves having to socialize a lot. Something about their lifestyle and or something about the people that were around them didn't sit well with you. Yeah, something about their work just it didn't resonate very well with you. This is someone that may struggle with communication as well, or communication was an issue between the two of you. Perhaps they didn't convey everything they should have to you. You might have felt like this person was always holding something back from you, and it feels like they were, out of fear, maybe a bit of confusion. This once again, this feels like somebody who is a little on guard about giving too much too soon. Like, I don't want to say something too soon. I don't want to give too much too soon. But for a lot of you, this is someone you dealt with that you're definitely in separation about. And fancy restaurants make them think of you. The phrase, being out. Maybe you guys went out a lot. Why am I hearing? I'm hearing Cisco. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm hearing Cisco. Bright lights, fancy restaurants, everything in this world that a man could want. Yeah, okay. So somebody was dealing with a person. They don't have to be uber rich. Again, they might deal in some type of entertainment business like events or, catering, etc. Something where they have to socialize a lot. You guys might have argued about their circle. It's not a circle that they necessarily enjoy. Either they feel obligated to it or they're just so used to it that they put up more of a fight about it than they should have. That song could have been playing in the background when you met. That's Cisco's Incomplete. So for those of you in separation, your person's feeling incomplete without you. And they're having a hard time communicating that, which is, it'll explain the stone that was chosen. You also might have cut communication. You might have been like, I don't want to talk to you. You might be watching this because you feel their presence and you're trying to figure out, why is this person's presence around me? Or you do want to open communication and you're trying to figure it out. You're wondering if this person kept things from you, and I'm feeling like they did. Their reasoning just may be different than what you initially thought it was for. Let's get into the surface message. Yep, I have bad influences around me. You may have not liked the friends, family, or co-workers that they dealt with before. I feel like this person, this isn't everyone's person. There's different people coming in. Somebody might have dealt with substance abuse, like drinking. And when they're out partying, they do dumb things when they get drunk, or they act out. And you don't like it. You didn't like that part. And they never truly told you why they're like that. The reality is sometimes people have vices for very key reasons. And a part of getting over it is finding what the key reason is. You might have been someone opening to know. Like, I'm open to know what the reason is. I'm open to help you. But they always just was like, no, it's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. And then they get around these bad influences. They could be, I feel like this is someone that's trying to do better, but they have people around them that encourage ridiculousness. I'm also seeing someone whose family encourages ridiculousness. It may not be for substance, but it's just, if it doesn't work in their favor and it works in the favor of the family or someone else, then they try to force this person to do that. And you guys might have gotten into arguments about those type of influences, and they were defensive at first or very secretive. Take what resonates for your situation. But whatever it was, communication was an issue here. That's the main thing. And now when they're out and they're seeing certain couples at restaurants or when they're at certain events, again, this could be where they met you. This could be where you guys confess liking each other. Whatever the situation may be, they can't help but think about you. And that Cisco song is still playing in my head. Even though it seems I have everything, I don't want to be a lonely fool. All of the women, all the expensive cars, all of the money don't amount to you. So I can make believe I have everything, but I can't pretend that I don't see that without you, girl, my life isn't. Yeah, they're really feeling that song. My life is incomplete. Y'all don't have to have me sing the whole part. They get it. I mean, if they didn't, I could just tell them to watch the song. Masculines. This wasn't even supposed to be a channeled song reading. That's a whole nother thing I do. But okay, I'm going to be respectful to their energy. They want you to know that. They might seem right now like they're out enjoying themselves because of the lifestyle that they lead, but in reality, they're willing to admit, and they might have admitted, this could have been what you argued about. They might have been like, yeah, I got bad influences around me. So what? You know, like they were defensive or just very secretive about what it is that causes them to put up with these people. Why do you have this vice? And they just wouldn't cover it with you. And now they're regretting it. They're playing that other part now. Was that the bridge? I just can't help loving you, but I loved you much too late. I'd give anything and everything to hear you say that you'll stay. Yeah, they're focused on that. We're not busting into a whole theatrics here, masculines. Let's get into how they feel about you. What's the deep thing? Here's the surface. What's deeper? I feel like you will judge me if I show you the real me. So they probably already feel like you're judging them if you guys were together, and that's why maybe you took a break, or maybe that's what you're currently arguing about. You feel like they're keeping things from you, and you might feel like the influences around them are so influential that it's going to make them, or has made them, betray you somehow. Whether that has taken place or not, because I'm picking up on different masculines, different groups, one thing's for certain, they definitely feel like if they were to come to you and confess why they're the way they are, why they do the things they do, you'll spend too much time judging them to actually hear them, to actually hear where they're coming from. They don't think you're open to receive their story, in other words. That's the energy coming in here. And then that's what gets in the way of communication. So that if you're willing to talk to this person, if you're willing to figure out why this person's energy is around you, should you give them the time or day to talk, you got to really listen. First of all, if you really listen and you use your discernment, don't worry about your opinion and whatever happened before. Just focus on the true energy and vibration of the moment. You will be able to tell truth from fiction. That's number one. It's not about having an excuse. It's about them being able to express what's wrong. At the same time, if you're the masculine going through this and you're watching, you're going to have to be willing to be completely honest and open. You can't be like, okay, I'm going to tell you what's wrong with me, and I'm going to just go right back to the same stuff I was doing before. There's no growth in that. If this is someone you're currently dating and you're wondering why are they keeping secrets, they could be keeping from you that they have bad influences. They might be willing to talk about that part. But when it comes to diving deeper in, it's going to take a lot more trust from them. This is someone that may have trust issues. You may have trust issues. Take what resonates. I hope that gave you some clarity and guidance on your situation, maybe on how to move forward. Your actions are your own. Blessings to you. Blessings. So this is from group 1, pile 3, messages from Divine Masculine. You chose the crown stone that I'm using for the crown chakra. The crown chakra could be something you need to work on, could be something they need to work on, could play into how you guys came together or what needs to be healed for you to come together. We're first going to get into Love Language by Divine Moon Empress to explain how they view the overall relationship. Could be places they met you, that could be something that's constantly on their mind that makes them think of the energy of this relationship, and or it could just be how they view it. It doesn't have to be an activity, but it could be as well. With that out the way, let's get right into it. Hiking. Okay, with this group, I'm picking up on both straight and same-sex couples. So take what resonates, because this is a reading for the Divine Masculine. Either way, this energy here is masculine. Okay, so you guys might have met while hiking, or you might be people who love the outdoors. There's a sense of stability with you. There's a sense of grounding, feeling grounded with you. However, I'm also kind of picking up that they hold back a bit. This might be someone that isn't the best with being expressive. For example, if someone was to say to them, how do you feel about your divine feminine? They might be like, I dig her. She's cool. When really it's like, she's amazing. I just love her, and there's this connection, and I'm freaking out because I don't really know what that means. That's not going to be what they say, though. You know, what they say is a lot more subtle. For some of them, this is because they've learned over the years, probably due to something in childhood, they've learned to not be so expressive. They've taught themselves not to be so expressive. And while they may want to be that way with you, it's just difficult for them. You're going to have to like talk with them and be patient with how they progress in that. For others, it's just their personality. Deep inside, they probably have poetic things that they're saying, but on the surface, they're very one word, one sentence kind of guy, kind of masculine. Take what resonates. But there's this strong feeling of loving the outdoors. There's a strong feeling of feeling grounded with you. Just, they might need some time. I feel like this is a new relationship for a lot of you. Your masculine that you dealt with also maybe this person with these traits. And it's the same thing. If a person was to say to them, do you miss your divine feminine? They're probably like, I mean, we have fun together. I mean, we were a cool couple. Instead of just saying, I miss her. Like, just say it. Just say you miss the person. So whether you're in separation or whether this is someone that you're talking to, I feel like for some of you, this might be someone that you're talking to for the first time. You could have met while hiking out in like California, or you're somewhere where there's a lot of hiking trails. I'm seeing a lot of trails. I'm seeing somebody, I'm seeing them from the back. They have dark, really dark hair. Kind of like maybe a golden complexion. Like a prince complexion, if that makes sense. It's like it's not super light, but it's not dark either. If you've ever seen Prince with like a natural tan, it's kind of that complexion. But from the back, their hair is very dark. I'm hearing Hanaseo. That's Korean. This person could be Korean. Or maybe you're Korean. Somebody might speak Korean. So I just heard Hanaseo. So take what resonates from that. That person could be Korean. That's not for everyone. This is a general reading. Remember, it's for the collective. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Let's get into their message. What's their surface message they're willing to confess? We're using Walu Child readings, love messages, and how do they feel about you cards. The surface message is I like you. So if you just started dating and because they're not the best with coming out with words, they're very good with action. For those of you dating, like they're attentive to you when you're on a date. They care about your needs. Are you fed? You know, are you comfortable? That kind of thing. But when it gets down to how they feel about you, they give you that vibe of I like you. And if you didn't know, then they're telling you I like you. But I'm pretty sure from the way this feels under the surface, there's a lot more that they want to say. You might say, what do you think about me? And they're like, I think that you're a really cool person. In their head, I think you're amazing. You get what I mean? Take what resonates from that, guys. Let's get into how they feel. This is the deep meaning here. I feel your essence deeply. It's unique and intense. You see? I like you, but inside, you're so amazing. Your essence is unique and it's intense. I also feel like some of them may have confessed this to you and you were wondering if that's how they really feel. And this is confirmation for you that it is. They feel like they can go on a journey with you. They feel like they can just take a hike with you and you guys can talk. There might be some mountains and some hills to get over because, again, if you're dealing with a person that's not used to being expressive, there's a reason for that. Even if it's just their personalities, there's some type of conditioning for that. So you might have to get used to that with them or help them kind of come out of that shell. You might be the only person they do that with, that they're able to come out the shell. But until then, it's about patience in that regard because I'm noticing the mountains and the hills here and they're standing out. It's not that you're struggling in this relationship or if you're in separation when it's time to come back together, that could have been one of the reasons you broke up. Not everybody breaks up because of third parties and karmatics. A lot of times it's just miscommunication, needing one person awakening to a spiritual journey and the other person still being asleep, and it's hard to express yourself with that person. This is telling you that that may all balance out very soon. How do they feel about you? They like you. How do they view you? They feel your essence deeply. It's unique and it's intense. I hope that gave you some clarity and guidance. Pile 3, blessings to you. Welcome, beautiful souls. This is Pal 1 from Group 2, Divine Feminist Messages to Their Divine Masculine. We're dealing with the Bloodstone Root Chakra. It's interesting that a bloodstone was chosen, so anything could come out in here. As always, use your discernment. Only take what resonates, leave what doesn't. We're first going to get into how this relationship is viewed. This could be what you're currently going through with this person. This could be even where you met, because where you met, a lot of times, that's the image a person keeps in their mind throughout the relationship a lot of times. And then we'll get into their messages. So starting off with how this relationship is viewed, DM projects. And it feels like you guys were trying to build a home with someone. The moment I looked at this, I saw two couples like painting walls. Ooh, that could also be someone's trying to cover over the truth too. Visions, a lot of times, they have coded messages within them. This could be someone that you were trying to build a home with, or that you are building a home with. Maybe you're thinking of moving in together, or you've talked about it. Something that the two of you can make into your own space, whether that's physically or whether that's vibrationally. Take what resonates. This could also be a job occupation for one of you. Maybe you're like a development manager for a company that renovates homes or does some type of real estate, like a real estate agent, something like that. That's just what's coming through. I'm hearing divine masculine is like a project, like a Build-A-Bear. So this feminine takes the divine masculine as a person that they constantly have to mold. This relationship could be heavy because of that, because you could be dealing with a person that been through a lot of stuff with you. You might have been like, oh, but I've changed, I'm new, I'm different, and yet you've slipped up a few times, or it's just that you've slipped up enough in the past, divine masculine or not. So they kind of feel like you're always a work in progress, and the relationship is always under construction. Like they have to keep an eye on this to make sure that it runs smoothly. That can be a problem because that comes with a controlling nature. And while it's understandable if they've been hurt, it's not healthy. So that may be something you guys have to really work on. There's a divine feminine that really feels like a masculine maybe broke a word or a promise. I'm not going to dive too deep into that. This isn't a personal reading. It's for the collective. So I want to make sure everyone gets to hear their part. I'm sensing different groups. But there's a group of divine feminists coming in here that just feel like they've been let down in some way, and they're feeling stuck, like they've gained a bad habit perhaps from this. I'm also picking up a divine feminine that knows they have a bad habit and they feel stuck in that bad habit, but they're that way for a reason, and they kind of use that reason as an excuse to stay in that position even though they claim they want to evolve and change. Take what resonates. Let's get into their messages, because I feel like we can stay centered in on this for a while. This is the surface message. This could have come up in a topic already and or will, but it's like, it's truth, but it's just the surface. It's like the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. I'm very stuck in my ways. Okay, so this is a divine feminine that feels very stuck in their ways, probably in the way that they talk to you, because I'm sensing, ooh, I keep bumping this camera. I've been having technical difficulties like all day. But yeah, this could be a feminine that talks to the masculine a certain kind of way when they're angry, frustrated, or when they don't want to be bothered, and the masculine done had it up to here. And whenever the conversation comes up, it's like, well, this is how I am. I'm stuck in my ways. Like, you knew this when we got together. But that's not an excuse. That's not a valid excuse to talk to someone the way that they're talking. If they're mad at you because you hurt them in some way, or they feel like you let them down in some way, it still doesn't justify it. But it feels like something you both need to work on. You might have to be patient with them in that regard, but you also can't let them just talk to you any old kind of way. If you're the feminine that comes across and you resonate with this, that's a problem, and it's being pointed. You already know, because you're saying I'm stuck in my ways. If you're the feminine watching this, you know what you're stuck in your ways about. You know if it's something toxic or if it's something that maybe your delivery matters. You know already. It's no need for me to dive any deeper than that. For the masculine watching for the feminine, or for whoever's watching for their feminine, this is just the surface of what's wrong. You might be taking it like that's all it is. Like, oh, they're just stuck in their way. There's something deeper going on here. Let's find out what that is. Let's see how they feel. This is how they feel about you, or how they feel about what's going on in the connection. I feel like you played me. Yeah, somebody feels like a divine masculine made promises to possibly build something together. Could be a company, could be a home. Energetically, could be the connection itself. And just when they were like, okay, yeah, this is gonna happen, I'm excited for this new relationship, this new project, you dropped the ball, whether it was intentionally or not. And so now this is their vibration. I'm stuck in my ways because I feel like you played me. It's the same for the other group that came in. I'm stuck in my ways because I've been played and I feel like you could play me too. Take what is key for your situation. I'm seeing two brunette women and a blonde woman coming in strongly here. The blonde woman has a strong Cupid's bow. Her lips are kind of, they're not super thin, but they're not full either. But she has a strong Cupid's bow. That may seem very, detailed to y'all, but that's what I'm seeing. Kind of have a slender nose. I can't see their eyes, so that maybe spirit doesn't want them totally revealed, or maybe they don't want themselves totally revealed. I'm gonna respect that energy. The two brunettes, one brunette has like a reddish tint to their brunette hair. The other one's hair, it's brunette, but it's almost black looking. One has deep, rich brown eyes, and the other one has like the hazel brown eyes. One, their hair naturally is kind of fluffy, and the other one's, the hair's wavy. One of them's Latina, very spicy too. But I'm trying to hear her accent clearly. She's cussing someone out in Spanish. I'm trying to hear her accent clearly. I want to say Puerto Rican from the city, maybe? Second or third generation. Like, she has relatives around her with a thick accent, thicker than her, but she's been influenced by whatever neighborhood or city she's from. Could be East Coast, like New York or Chicago, something like that. A little bit more on the New York side. That could be your person, that could be you, that could be someone else's person. This is a general reading. I simply speak what I channel. But that line almost came out exactly like that. Like, okay, well, this is how I am. These are my ways. And what? And what? Like, she's like talking with her hands. She's very animated with her hands too. That could be the one that's dealing with a person that they feel like they've been around the bend with over and over again. And it's just like, why are we always under construction? Why can't you just get it together? How are you mad at me at how I'm acting now? I'm stuck in my ways because you played me. But keep in mind, it says, I feel like you played me. So the question here for that divine feminine is, were you really played, or do you just feel like that based on the circumstances and the things you've been through before? Could you have misjudged something they did? And if you're accurate in what you saw them do, then the question is, are you going to forgive them because they really earned the forgiveness and move on, or leave? Because this back and forth, it's toxic for you and it's toxic for them. And if you don't really care too much about them, you should at least care about what's going on for your mental state, for your spiritual state. This could have been the guidance you were seeking. You're responsible for your actions and reactions to that, though. Hopefully that gave you guys some clarity, should you have been the ones that chose this group. Blessings to you. All right, beautiful souls. Welcome, group 2, PAL 2, Divine Feminine's messages. You chose the stone for the heart chakra. So the energy of this reading is probably centered around that. Could be something you both need to work on. Could be what brought you close together. We're going to get into what this divine feminine feels about the overall union. When they think of this union, what pops in their mind? Could be a memory of how you met, could be just the energy between the two of you, or how they view you. Okay, we're going to be using Love Languages by Divine Moon Empress for that. Giving back. Oh, this is cute. Cute energy for some of you, though I am feeling like there's some feminists that are in a question. They're kind of questioning this a bit. Maybe they think it's a little too good to be true. So if this is someone that the divine feminine was in separation with, and you're trying to come back, you're trying to communicate again, you might be doing some of the right things, but they're like, oh, I don't know, this is a little too good to be true. This could all be a game. So they feel like they could be watching this reading. You may be the divine feminine that chose that stone because you're like, I really do want to figure out if this person is genuine or if I should trust my gut on this, on what I'm feeling. We're going to get into your messages. We're going to get into the surface message and the core in a moment. There's also someone here that's dating for the first time, dating this person rather for the first time, and they have this energy of like, wow, this person is really into the same things I'm into. They have a kind heart. They believe in giving. Maybe you met them in some type of volunteer or giving back event, because I'm seeing an event. I'm seeing an event where food's being passed out, but I'm also seeing something around cooking and like being in a park, maybe cleaning up a park, perhaps. Also, the back here, the earth is standing out. That could be why park is coming in. It could also be that they're an earth sign. Could be in your chart, could be in their chart. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Use your discernment. Yeah, this is, for many of them, it's a light energy, but some of these divine feminines are just questioning if this is all real. You might be a little too good to be true. Some of y'all might be a little too handsome, a little too nice, and they're like, I don't know. I'm seeing a very curvy woman, a chocolate complexion, really beautiful, curvy, but she has a really strong back. Like, she looks like someone that probably, maybe she does boxing or some type of training work to stay fit. She could be a trainer. She could be a personal trainer. That might be her profession. But I'm seeing her kind of like work out, and she's very curvy. She has very thick hips, like very hourglass-like figure. If that's your feminine, take what resonates. That's not going to be for everyone. I'm also seeing someone, a teacher, could be a teacher or some type of educator. Not really seeing what grade they teach, but teacher came in the moment that they appeared. They wear their hair in a bun a lot, like the low bun on the back, near the back of the neck. They wear their hair like that a lot to keep it out the way, especially if they're dealing with work. They're sitting at a computer and it looks like a Zoom call or some type of call where they're talking to students. That's the vibe they're giving off. It's like they're educating someone, but I really can't see who they're talking to on the screen. I'm really only seeing them from the back. They're either fair skin or light skin, but I can only go by like the little bit of skin I can see from under the hair. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It looks like they have dark hair, actually. Yeah, dark hair. Could be your person, could be you. This person could be thinking of you and you're channeling in. This is divine feminine talking to divine masculines, but these could be masculines with feminine energy channeling in right now. This could be, feminines talking to another feminine. Take what resonates. I've already picked up a few same-sex couples in other readings. Let's get into their basic message. What's something that may have come up in conversation, or it's just the surface. Even if they didn't talk to you about it, it's the surface of what's going on. I ask God, my angels, and my ancestors, and my guides about you. Yeah, remember what I was saying? This divine feminine feels like you might be too good to be true, especially if you're someone that they tried to be with before and it didn't work out. I'm sensing once again, because I think I sensed this in another pal, a group of people that tried to get together and it was just bad timing. But anything could have happened that made it bad timing. You got to take what resonates with that. It could have been a move, could have been work, could have been an argument. Just may both have not been ready for how intense the connection was. And now here you come again and they're seeing a side of you that they've never seen before and they're questioning it. So they're seeking power and guidance from a higher source to get clarity on this, to make sure that you're really their one. They might be new to the twin flame thing and the soulmate thing. And even if they aren't new, they've just always, sometimes a person can know something's out there, but they feel like it's not for them. Like, oh, I believe in that. I just don't think it's for me or that I have one. And then here you come. And they feel like they've known you already. And you feel so familiar. And they feel like they can trust you. Like you have a giving soul, like they have a giving soul. Like they're gaining something being with you. And that's just a little too good to be true for them. You could be finally coming in this relationship ready to give back for all the times that they were showing you love and affection, and they're just not sure about it. For those of you coming into a relationship with this person, it hasn't been that long, Same thing with another pal. Perhaps the corona or different things got in the way of you guys really being able to spend a lot of time to really get to know each other. Phone calls might have been slim, but you might have been the person that texted them whenever they popped in your head, like, hey, I just check in. I'm just seeing how you're doing. Just want to know if you're good. Even if it was just once in a blue moon, it's the fact that the moment they popped in your mind and you had the time, you checked in. And now that you're physically around, they can see how genuine that was. But they're like, I don't know. I'm seeing somebody really handsome. This is someone the feminine's thinking of. They have like a very groomed beard and pretty eyes. They might be Middle Eastern descent. I think this is the second time I'm picking up someone of Middle Eastern descent. I don't know if I mentioned it the first time I picked it up, but this is like the second time. This person looks like there's a famous, I think he's a prince. This isn't the guy, but he looks like that guy. But he has like green eyes with little specks of brown in it. I might have picked this person up in another group. You both may be watching these pick a card readings. I'm just saying, it happens. It happens sometimes. Take what resonates. I'm also seeing a dark-skinned male, tall. This is what the divine feminines are seeing when they daydream about you, or when they're thinking about you, or when you send a text message. So either it's your features, or if you're the feminine, you'll recognize them as the features of your person. These features aren't for everyone. They're just channeling in strongly because that's what someone in the collective is like really trying to push out. Most of the time I try to ignore those because these are general readings, but every now and then a few slip in. Let's get into how they feel about this connection, or what they feel is going on. I feel you checking up on me. I just mentioned that, right? Like someone texting somebody to check up on them. Yeah. But this also feels energetically. They feel your energy checking up on them. That kind of like they could be cooking in the kitchen and then they just feel your presence and they look over like, I'm here by myself. Why do I feel like such and such is right behind me? Astral projection is a thing. I'm just saying. Some of these divine masculines be on their supernova levels and they can do a lot of amazing things, okay? But when you think strongly about them, they do feel you. I also feel like if you're an ex or someone that someone that's trying to come back into a relationship with them, they feel when you check up on them on social media. They feel when you're asking family and friends about them. And again, I feel like this might have come out in another group, or at least energetically, it was trying to. If this relationship is new and you're thinking about them, they feel like it. I'm hearing a masculine say something like, let me feed you. I want to just feed you. Like, is that how the date started? Like, don't worry, no pressure. I just want to feed you. Why does that sound so suspect though? Like, they really do have the best intentions with the line, but it sounded like it was other meanings there. like one part of their brain was like, no, really, I just want to like take you out and eat. And the other part of the brain, let's just say we're not going to go to those cards, but take what resonates for this. If you were wondering if your person can feel your energy around them, if they can feel when you're thinking about them, maybe you're a little nervous about that, they can. And it's making them ask their guides and a higher power about you because they want to be sure that this is correct. You could be coming back in their life to finally give them something, or this could be a person who you have such a strong connection to, you just want to give to them, and vice versa. They want to give back to you. It's all centered in on the heart energy. I hope that gave you some clarity and some guidance on your situation. Blessings to you. Okay, group 2, divine feminine messages. We are tapping now into the third and final pile. Let's get right into this. This is the sacral chakra. This chakra could be something that plays into your relationship, how you got together. Could be something that you need to heal or work on. We're first going to start off with what the divine feminine feels about this relationship, and then we'll get into their messages, the surface message and their deeper feelings. Starting off with this, what do we have? Fireworks. Oh, I just heard it's a Drake song. All I see is fireworks Every night is fireworks. That's what I'm hearing. That's again with the songs channeling in. Guys, come on. This is not a channel song. Pick a card. Yeah, this is a mixed energy coming in here. It's not the first one to be this way. On one hand, I'm sensing people that just constantly feel more than just a spark. This is like light up the sky kind of connection, that uncontrollable pull. That, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it, the two people sitting next to each other here watching the fireworks. It's like magnetic. But I'm also picking up that some are a bit weary because of that. Like it's a little too much for them. They might feel a bit overwhelmed. I'm also seeing that it might lead to conflict. Sometimes there's conflict at times in the relationship because of those sparks. Because you guys don't know how to translate your feelings. Somebody might be a little guarded. Could be you watching for your feminine, could be the feminine. That's the energy coming in here, but there's definitely this strong feeling. And I feel like they chose the sacral chakra because that's kind of where they feel it. They feel it. It's so intense they can feel it in the womb space. Like this burst of energy. If you've made love, that's where they feel it. This burst of energy. Let's get into the surface message. I've been avoiding you. Well, yeah, some people are overwhelmed by this. Some are overwhelmed by how strong this pull is. Again, sometimes, this happens with both divine feminines and masculines, but sometimes it's just too much, too quick, too fast. They don't know how to process it. It's too magnetic. They find themselves saying and doing things they wouldn't typically do. And they might have been in similar predicaments before. Not as intense as this, but let's say, for example, they dealt with a karmatic partner. They might have felt like the same thing happened. They gave too much, too fast, too quick. It was too hot, too heavy, too steamy. The next thing you know, they got screwed over in the end. So now, coming into this union, and again, this ain't just some little spark. This is like 1,000 lights going off in the sky. It's like, okay, whoa, slow down. So if you've been wondering, are they avoiding me? Because I feel this intense connection with them, but every time I call, they got something to do. And every time I come by, they're not available. Are they avoiding me? Is there a problem here? It doesn't feel like it's a heavy problem that can't be talked about or fixed. It just feels like they're not completely allowing themselves to be grounded in their sacral energy. It's the sexual tension and energy between the two of you. It's very intense, very strong, and they don't really know how to process it without thinking something negative. Not because you're negative per se, but just they don't want to repeat pain. This kind of energy keeps coming up with these pick a card readings of people who are just like, I'm holding back and revealing everything. That's why I keep feeling like a lot of you, and I keep seeing that a lot of you are just starting to really get together. Even if you've been talking for a few months or more, you're just now starting to unroll and unravel and peel back the layers of yourselves. And you're seeing things that have you like, whoa, I was not expecting all of that. For others, if you're a couple that was in separation trying to come back into union, there's obviously doubts and there's obviously moments of confusion, questioning just how sincere one of you are. So it leads to these wanting to run or just hold back kind of energy. If you're the divine feminine watching this, the person that you're thinking about feels this way too, and they've been wondering if you're avoiding them. So if you thought you were low, like, oh, I'm just gonna not answer the phone as much as I normally would. Yeah, they peep that. They peep that. Let's get into the deep feeling of this feminine, of these feminists. There's several groups coming in. I feel that you and I are stronger together than apart. So even though, what did I just say about like fireworks and sparks and intensity? Even though they're avoiding you because of how intense this connection feels, the fireworks of it all, they can't deny that they feel better and more secure when they're with you than when they're avoiding you. So if you were wondering, well, are they avoiding me because it's me? Like, did I do something? No, it's past thoughts, pains, and traumas that are kind of getting in the way, but they do feel like you guys are stronger when you're together than you are when you're apart. However, I do feel like some of these divine feminines have some healing to do, and you watching for the feminine may also have some healing to do. The key here is to be open and honest and understand. You don't have to reveal every little tiny little detail about everything, but be open and honest about how you feel towards this person, or at least what the fears are. Because understand, the only time a person can use your fears against you in this type of connection is if you allow it, if you allow for that to happen. But to try to keep being so closed off in this type of intense connection, it's just gonna backfire like fireworks. And I keep hearing that song. Every night is fireworks. This is very sexual energy here. So if you haven't been intimate, I'm going to say this, whether you have been or you haven't been, if y'all not trying to have no little ones running around until y'all figure this situation out, try to keep some mindfulness here, because that's how intense this is. This is like we were just talking and then good morning to you. Oh, guess we forgot to take the pill last night or use the condom. Like, I'm just being, hey, I'm like the sis that keeps it real with you. I'm like, that best friend that's not going to sugarcoat anything for you. This is a lot of intense sexual energy here. And there's a lot of questions on both sides. The connection feels genuine. Again, take what resonates for your situation. But for the sake of this feminine sanity, you might want to slow down a bit. I'm not saying, hey, y'all grown. If y'all want to do, that's your business. But you might want to start focusing more on the communication. Because y'all feel sparks in everything you do. There's sparks in the conversation. There's sparks. It's just fireworks every night. But you want to make sure that you are being open with each other in the right way. Again, you don't have to reveal every little thing. You can do it over time, but don't put up a wall, because if you put up a wall, they're going to put up a wall, and then this connection will get funky. I hope that I'm just translating this how it's coming in. I'm hoping that gave you guys some clarity and some guidance for this situation. Hope it answered your questions on if you've been wondering if the person was avoiding you and if it was a bad reason or anything like that. I'm sensing more so the connection is just very intense. And for anyone that was in separation, there is a bit of trust issue here. They just want to be sure you're genuine. But that's happening with a lot of groups that are coming back into union. They want to know that the person is really trying to stay this time. They're not trying to be the on and off switch for you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Peace, love, and light. Blessings to you all.